Nichols recently. Here's the conversation. Professor Nichols, thanks for joining us tonight. Why were you upset that Betsy DeVos spoke before these students?
So I wasn't upset at all, Tucker, that she spoke before these students. I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. I think she has a right to speak. My problem was that the community made a decision that she should not come, including 60,000 people from the BCU network said that they didn't want her there. And I think commencement is a special event, particularly for students and families. And if they decide that they don't want her there, it shouldn't be a unilateral decision made by the president of the university.
Well, 60,000 people don't go to the school, so I don't know exactly who those people were. That's far more than actually attend the university. So, you know, I don't know where you're getting that number or why you believe that online survey speaks for the community, whatever the community is. Did you poll every student there?
So no, I did not poll every student. I looked at, well, I think in terms of the student body, we saw how they reacted. They used their First Amendment right, which was to protest. I think, you know, when we get to 60,000, I talked about the community. That's not only students, that's alumni, that's faculty past and present, that's staff past and present. That's everybody who really cares about BCU and feels invested in what goes on there, particularly in commencement.
Well, of course, you don't know that any of that's true because it's an online survey, so it could be anybody. So let's not pretend that we know exactly who these people are. Look, you may not like Betsy DeVos or think she shouldn't have spoken, or maybe the kids don't like her. I'll take your word for it. Here's what drew my attention to you. You wrote in a piece for The Hill that having her there ignores the desires of black people, you said, especially students. They don't matter in the face of green dollars and white power. What does Betsy DeVos have to do with white power?
So she is a member of the Trump administration, which has shown racial animus towards people of color all over. And also, when we talk about white power, I just want to be clear that white power is not really shaved heads and combat boots the way we think of white power. White power are social and political norms that generate disparities in health outcomes, in education, and employment, and wealth, and criminal justice. So when we talk about white power, we're talking about a system and something that is systemic. And when we're talking about Betsy DeVos and her connection to it,
I mean, you're just another tenured demagogue who doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. I mean, look, Betsy DeVos is a living human being. Do you have evidence that she supports white power, whatever that is? Let's not tar her by association.
Absolutely. Well, first,
does every black employee of the administration support white power? Like, what are you talking about? I'm sick of this. I mean, let's be real.
Allow me to say what it is that I'm talking about.
Good.
Now, in terms of Betsy DeVos and her connection and why these students would be upset. Number one, she wants to cut $4 billion from Pell Grants. Now, 900 students at BCU actually receive Pell Grants, and we know African-American students at large are more likely to receive them because they're more likely to be poor, actually 3 times as likely as white students. She also wants to end student loan forgiveness for people who are in service. These are all things that are going to affect African-American students. But if we're talking about the Trump administration
but they'll also affect students of every color. Wait, hold on. They'll also affect students of every color.
But we're talking about disproportion.
Wait, hold on. Slow down.
Now,
we're talking about disproportion. We're talking, hold on, slow down. We're talking about policies.
Okay, we don't have to talk about
policies that are federal law and therefore affect everyone regardless of what he looks like. So they're not inherently racial, okay? First.
No, but that's where you're wrong.
Well, no, they're not. I mean, there's nothing about race in Pell Grants, and there's nothing about race in debt forgiveness. And so if you're using that line of logic, you're saying that if I'm opposed to you on policy issues, I'm a racist, or I support white power, and you shut the conversation down.
That's not what I'm saying, Tucker.
What are you saying?
Tucker, you're obfuscating what it is that I'm saying.
Well, what are you saying?
What I'm saying, I've already said what white power is, and I believe that we're talking about things that disproportionately affect people of color. And, you know, if you want to talk about the Trump administration at large.
But hold on, why does that mean that she should stop? Look, I'm trying to be patient. If you want to have a debate about Pell Grants, it's totally legitimate. I mean, we may even agree on Pell Grants. I don't even know, or school choice. Sure. It's when you start calling people bigots that you end the conversation. And as a professor, I think you would like to illuminate and elucidate rather than cast aspersions and shut down, which is what you're doing.
Okay, Tucker, I'm wondering where it is that I called Betsy DeVos individually a bigot. Please tell me where that is.
You
because
said
I don't remember.
that
I don't
she
remember
spoke
saying that she was a bigot.
because of white power. And my point is, look, you may not like the Trump people, you may disagree with her view on Pell Grants, but that has nothing to do with,
never
quote,
called her a
white.
bigot.
That's exactly what you're. Let's not be coy here. You wouldn't use that phrase. I would never use that phrase unless I was calling someone a bigot, because that's what it is.
No, I don't think that that's what it is. I think it's saying that the school, and as a matter of fact, it wasn't even a critique on Ms. Devos herself. As I said earlier, I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment to the Constitution. I think she had every right to speak. I think she could have done what Dr. Carson did when he was.
Nobody's contesting her right to speak. You're not contesting her right to speak, and I'm not either.
Absolutely
You're just
not.
saying she shouldn't have done it.
We agree.
Because she's on the wrong side of Pell Grants, and white supremacy or white power got her there. And I'm just saying, look, you totally eliminate the possibility of reasonable conversation when you say nonsense like this that you can't even define, you clearly don't understand, and you're just telling other people to shut up.
I don't understand. I think I clearly defined it for you. I'm not sure if you were listening, Tucker.
Intensely.
But I think I defined it for you.
Okay. Well, I don't understand. So I hope you will come back and fill me in. I appreciate your coming on tonight,
Absolutely.
Professor. Thank you. Sociologist Charles Murray recently tried to give a speech